to make sure you can hear me. So if you could just answer this poll. Go ahead, click yes or no. Can you hear me? And then now that we are starting class, if you guys could please stop with the text chat. Again, I'm fine with it going on beforehand, but now that we are getting into class, if you could refrain from chit-chatting, that would be fantastic. So if it's something relevant to the class, go right ahead. This is our last week of robotics class, unfortunately. This has been, in my opinion, a great 9-week class. We have learned lots of different things, gone over lots of different things, and it's all culminating with the project that you guys worked on and are going to be sharing with the rest of the class today. I believe I have everybody's uploaded. However, if I missed yours, just speak up and I certainly can go ahead and grab it. We are going to go ahead and start with our presentations. So I do not know whose is whose. I tried to upload either the picture or the text. I tried not to upload the person's name on them. So what we are going to do is the first one that I have in line here is called Teacher Robot. Now this one does not have a name. So can you raise your hand if Teacher Robot is yours? All right, perfect. Lindsay, I'm going to put your project up in the PowerPoint screen. So if everyone can go ahead and make screen larger. Lindsay, it is all yours. You can read this. You can talk more of detail about any part of your project. Go right ahead.
Okay, so this is a robot that teaches children who have problems learning. Questions I would ask or topics I would research would be: how does it teach? How does it reward a student? And what makes the robot help children learn easier? It would move with the tracks it has. It will manipulate objects. It has paws that are Velcro, so you can stick on like a whiteboard or a chalkboard. And they can like pat the children to show them they're doing a good job. It would be powered by a large battery, and it would think with a microchip, it can also show videos, and it senses with sensors and a video camera. And appearance will matter because, first of all, it can't look scary because the children may get scared. And it should also be pretty gender neutral, so both girls and boys will like it. So I chose an orange cat. And the materials I would use would be something softer, so like if the children accidentally ran into it, they wouldn't get hurt. My robot, it's an orange cat. It will play videos, have school games, and give out lollipops if the child does well. This cat will try to adapt to how the children acts and feels. It will also learn how to react if the children is upset, and possibly learn a new name. He will be friendly, but he will make sure the child does learn. He'll probably be around 3 feet or so, 3 feet tall or so. I would test my robot by letting it teach my little sister, who doesn't like doing her schoolwork. And she also has like a learning disability, so that would be good to test on. And my robot would probably need help with being friendly, caring, adapting to a certain child. And I'll probably have to test it out many more times until the robot is almost perfect.
Awesome, great job, Lindsay. Thank you so much for sharing with us. Your little orange cat sounds like a great robot. You certainly can. If anyone needs to come on the camera, they certainly can to show us anything. So with that being said, Dane, why don't you go next? I'm going to turn your camera on, and you can go ahead and tell us about your robot. Go ahead and click OK underneath where, here you come.
So, this is my robot. I nicknamed it Igor, like the initials, energy getting robot, so EGR, so I just named it Igor. So this guy gets energy, like, when you first buy him from a store, you have to power him with an energy, but then he goes out, and then you don't have to charge him with energy anymore unless he gets attacked and stuff. So these things that look like ears are actually solar panels that flip up. So he can power himself and get energy for the house or whatever. They're also wings, because the head detaches if he needs to get away, like if he gets attacked and stuff. And the visor is this green thing here. Screen thing here. So, and this thing is a solar panel also, and also this black tile. And he has some search lights just in case it's night. And this pole thingy he's holding, that's if he shuts down for a couple minutes and waits on a hill to see if electricity will strike it and give him a giant boost. And he walks with these feet actually bend, and the legs bend, so he can actually move. If he needs to go in the water, he has a curved slope, so his legs fold up. He can just propel himself with the propeller thing right here. And if it's dark out and there's no electricity, he can lay down like this, and this thing that's supposed to be the propeller also, if the water pushes it, it makes energy. Like it pushes it around, makes energy. And then you put his arms down and open this chest thing. The red buttons. The red button is for like shut down, and the gray button is for opening it. You can program him. All computer and stuff, and energy, and that's about it. Oh, and then there's air vents to keep him cool, and that's it.
All right, great job, Dane. It was very cool to see your Lego robot. Let's go. Next we have, and this one I do have their name, Millie. Next is your robot. Why don't you go ahead and tell us about your robot? Millie, I can't seem to hear you talking, so if you could look at your screen, go to the bottom left. See where there is that orange wrench? Click where it says microphone setting, and be sure that your microphone is chosen. For example, mine is a Logitech headset. All right, so go ahead and try that, and let's see if we can get your mic working. Nope. Okay, and now make sure that your microphone is not muted. For example, if you look at my screen on my cord, I have this little button. If I press it, it mutes my microphone. So make sure your microphone is not muted, please. All right, well, we will have to try to come back to you, Millie, unless you want to go ahead and write in the text chat about your robot. Obviously, you're not going to write as much as Dane and Lindsay just described, but maybe you can just tell us quickly what your robot does and what his name is in the text chat. Your robot is up on the screen. So we'll give Millie a second to type. Maybe as we're waiting for Millie to go ahead and type, we will go ahead to our next presentation, and that is pod cars. So raise your hand if pod cars was your robot. Pod cars. Was pod cars your robot? No? All right, then we'll go to the next one. Here we have automatic feeder. Go ahead and raise your hand if automatic feeder was your robot. Nope. All right. These must be someone's robots. We'll go ahead to the polar bear, my robot. Go ahead and raise your hand if this is your robot. Okay, Seth's is my robot. So I will go ahead and talk for Seth since he does not have a microphone. So here we have my robot, and there is a polar bear picture here. If I were to make a robot product, it would be a polar bear robot because of intimidation. With the fighting skills of a grizzly bear, polar bear, brown bear, black bear put together for a protective robot. On a scale of 1 to 10, protective definitely an 11. Kind of like her cubs, kind of protective, that is programmed to attack. For example, attack when a sign is touched, or attack when body heat comes within 5 feet of a sign, and so on and so on. It would move stealthily, walk beside its assigned owner with a pad that makes its paws silent, while on the inside, joints are moving lightly through the terrain. That it would be able to manipulate by having sensors to sense when and how high it needs to climb. It would have scanners that scan the fastest or slowest way on the other side, if asked to do so by its master. It would be powered by a 3-day long-lasting battery. Appearance matters because if the attacker sees no more than a seal, he won't be intimidated. If he sees a ferocious polar bear, he'll think twice about attacking. I would make it out of stainless steel with a rubber coat and thick white hair with black eyes. I would test it by launching a soft object at the assigned human and have them walk around and climb objects to see if the bear follows or can follow. Pros: it can protect an unexpected attack, keeps others away when needed, It's adjustable to how fierce and how hard to swipe, or simply just growl in warning. It's very protective. Cons, it may attack the wrong person, or it may have a misunderstanding. Great job. So this polar bear robot is a protective device. All right, that was Seth's. Good job, Seth. And Millie went ahead and wrote about hers. So let me pull hers back up here. So Millie wrote my robot eye for charging devices, and when it is done charging, it will unplug the device, and if needed, it can plug in another device. I thought that this robot would help save time charging different things. Its name is the Charger 9000. So Millie's is a phone charger that knows when an object or a device is done charging and will plug in the next device. Great job. Now the automatic feeder one is Steven's, and he does not have a mic either. So Steven says, I would have the robot feed my lizards. The robot would have a handful of food. The robot would have a hole big enough so that the food will come out every morning and night. It would sense by motion. It would move by a pulley, and it is powered by a rechargeable battery. The color would have to be a desert color so it wouldn't scare my lizards. I would use plastic with holes so the food could get air. Nice job, Steven. And here we have Dylan's. So Dylan, go ahead and explain yours to us.
Alright, so my robot is Prototype. I titled it Prototype Robot to Satisfy Needs. So what if instead of trying to create a robot with AI, artificial intelligence, what if there was a robot that was controlled by humans? However, not like the usual way by using a joystick or a controller of some sort. What about a humanoid robot that was controlled by humans live, using something like the Vertex Omni? And the Vertex Omni is a multi-directional treadmill video game for virtual reality games currently in development by Vertex. And the Vertex Omni uses Xbox 360 Connect and motion capturing software to track the movements of the user. Now what if instead of using that technology to play video games, what if it was used to control robots? I believe this technology could help save lives and satisfy various needs. Practical functions of my robot be to go into disaster areas, go and fight wars, help with pandemics, and fight fires, as well as other dangerous situations that put human lives at risk. In other words, go anywhere that humans might get hurt. And as for how it will move, this robot would be a humanoid robot, so it would have the capability of walking on two legs, moving its arms, fingers, and this robot will have a this robot will have a human operator who is in control of its movements. Since it is a humanoid robot, it would use its head, no, I actually scroll down a little bit. That's it. Its head as necessary for the operator to control its functions or its particular task. Ideally, it could do most of the movements of a human could do. However, it would not be capable of making its own decisions, and it is dependent on a human operator. And as for how it would manipulate objects, this robot will have a human operator who is in control of its movements. Since it is a humanoid robot, it would use its head, eyes, arms, hands, fingers, parts of its legs and feet. Human movement is recorded by motion capturing software, which is sent to the robot instantaneously. This recorded motion is sent to the robot over Wi-Fi or a server, which the robot translates into movements. And as for how it is powered, there you go. As for how it would be powered, it would use a lithium-ion battery, which weighs 6 kilograms, and that would provide up to 3 hours of fully charged, which would give it it takes 3 hours to charge, which would give it approximately 1 hour of running or walking. And these approximations are based on Asimov. And as for how it would think, that would be controlled by a human. So the human operator would do all the thinking. And as for how it would sense, it would use 2 high-definition, compact video cameras. I would put these cameras in the same location of the human eyes, but on the humanoid robot's face. And that footage would then be streamed over Wi-Fi or servers within Title 47 FCR Part 15 rules, or under the Federal Communications Commission. And that information would be streamed to the operator, who would be wearing a device like the Oculus Rift. And the Oculus Rift are goggles that have 2 screens. They have 2 screens inside, and when you put them on, the image on the screen looks 3-dimensional. And then there's pictures of the Oculus Rift on the inside and the outside. And does appearance matter, and if so, how? So appearance does matter because this robot would be used to help save lives, and it needs to look friendly and not scare people, especially other cultures who might not understand the technology. Particularly speaking, because the robot would have no nervous system. Practically speaking, because the robot would have no nervous system. So if the robot is off balance, the operator might not know that. If the robot has longer legs than the operator also might have trouble operating the robot. And as for what materials I would use, various materials would be used, such as light and heavy metals, plastics, electronic, rubber metal for the material for the joints, and other materials as necessary. How would you test your robot? As for how I would test my robot, I would test my robot by having it do something simple like walking. Then I would have it walk up and down stairs and then around the house. I would progressively test more complicated movements. And for the evaluation of my robot would have the potential to do many great things, such as dangerous tasks, go to war, detonate bombs, help in rescues, build and manipulate very heavy objects, and all this could be done from a safe place remotely. And then this is my robot drawing. So what I did is on the left, you can see the operator who is using my drawing version of the Oculus Rift and the Vertex Omni, who is controlling the robot on the right side, who is about to try and attempt to save those people who are on the other side of the fire. Now he can do that remotely without endangering his own life, and while at the same time helping the other people who are in need.
Awesome. Great job, Dylan. I love your robot idea. Next. And we did that one. Okay, so now we're done with ones that are on... We're done with ones that are on our PowerPoint screen, and now we're going to go ahead and look at the whiteboard. There are a few that were images. So let's take a look here. And let me see if I can turn this one. I don't know that I'm going to be able to rotate this image. Whose is this up on the screen? Up on the whiteboard screen. All right, Kyle, do you have yours in front of you so you can read it? Because for whatever reason, this turned it to the side.
I also have a prototype of this robot that I'm going to show after I read this. How some robots move. How does the robot carry its battery? How big is the battery usually on a robot? It would move with legs. It would manipulate objects fairly well. It would be powered by solar with a backup battery. It would be controlled with a microchip. It would sense with sensors. And then I did write down my term for this one, so I don't know what the no means on my report. Oh, the no means does appearance matter? Appearance does not matter on my robot. The supplies I would use would be metal, copper, light, wire, can, motor, cradle, duct tape, and battery. And that is the things I really use for my robot. It is made of a tin can. It has a motor and wheels strapped to it. It has working lights for eyes and little wires for arms. I will see how it can move on different terrains. It works good and is cost efficient. It works good on some terrains. And what my robot would be used for is I was thinking my robot could be used for lights. He could go ahead and he could go ahead of the person, and the lights could show if they were in a dark area. Another use for him is he could go on some trains that humans could not. Now, or save people if needed. The wires, if I had more supply, so the arms could move up and down and pick up things by themselves. Now here is the actual robot I built from my description. He really moved with the leg. He would light up, but I blew one of my bulbs. He is made of a tin can and covered with foil. His eyes are little LED lights, and his arms are from wire. He has a battery thing on the back, and then he has oval-shaped wheels, so he could walk more like a human with the oval-shaped wheels. And then he moves faster on the floor. And then he would be powered by solar with backup battery, but on this he was powered with just a battery. He has a little motor there that will let his wheels move. He has wires coming from there, and that lets him move. This stabilizes him when he walks, and this holds him up while it stabilizes him to walk. Here's the wires I would have used to attach it to a battery. I still could attach it to a battery, and one of the lights would work. And then his wheels move like regular wheels, only they're oval, so they would move. So they would move differently than regular wheels. and that is my robot.
All right. Great job, Kyle. It was great to see a robot in action. Wonderful, wonderful job. If you guys could try not to write while someone is talking, that would be great. And I believe we have one more. Let me just pull it up. We're going to have the same problem. I'm not going to be able to turn this picture around. So if this is yours, let me see if I can make it smaller. That's fine. It doesn't matter if it's from a thing. It didn't have to be an original creation. Using a kit is fine. You could have used our kit as well. All right. So I apologize, Joseph, but if you could share yours with us, the picture is up on the screen. Make sure you hold down your talk button so we can hear you. Joseph, are you there?
The questions, but I have the answers. Number 1. How would it grab big objects? How would you see what's happening? And how would you control it? Number 2. A would be, how does it move? Wheels and axles. How does it B? B, arm. C, how do you power it? Battery. D, how do you control it? Controller. E, how do sensors and camera. 3, no. 4, what materials would you use? Metal, not too hard, and plastic. 5, how do you describe your robot? Round, small, made of metal, picks up carpet and hard floor. 6, how do you test your robot? Put on the carpet with items, different sizes and different weight, and use the controller to control it. 7, okay. Everything was good except the wall, right? The robot ran into a wall, but it's fixed now.
All right, great job, Joseph. Thank you very much for sharing. Okay, so we have had Lindsay. Okay, Clayton, you have a question? Go ahead.
The one I built from our kit.
All right, then let me turn your camera on so you can go ahead and click it on your screen, and why don't you go ahead and share with us.
Their robot the best I could. I tried to make it move, but it doesn't work very well because I couldn't make the paddles right. I took some parts that we used for the elevator to make where he could lift. I took one pulley. I can use a string. I can make it go up and down. If I don't break it again, but I built the bear because I thought it's a neat robot because how it goes into the front lines to save the robot, save people from getting hurt, even worse and everything. But I just like the bear robot really a lot because it's awesome how he works and how he goes and saves the troops.
All right, great job, Clinton. Does anyone else have a robot that they are going to share with us? We have seen Lindsay, Dane, Millie, Seth, Stephen, Dylan, Kyle, Joseph, and Clinton. Did anyone else complete the assignment and have something they want to either share on the screen? All right, Noah, you are next. Let me turn your screen on. Go ahead and click the OK underneath the video whenever you are ready, Noah.
It doesn't say an OK. Oh, is it the start? Okay, I'm reading off Microsoft Word. Is that okay? The robot idea I came up with is for my mom. She is an educator and spends a lot of late nights creating lessons, grading papers, doing paperwork, etc. I think this robot would help give my mom a break because I see how hard she tries to help her students. My research was based on how I could create a robot that would make things easier for my mom. So basically, this robot would be computerized to function like a human with an extremely high intelligence. It will be powered by a rechargeable battery, and the person who is controlling it will be able to do so with a remote. This robot will be a replica of a human and will be able to manipulate objects just like a human. It will be like a teacher assistant, but with the capacity to do so much more at a faster rate. The robot will be able to do things like grade papers, create lessons, work with small groups, and even help the teacher understand a lesson she is having difficulty teaching. Appearance does matter because you don't want to scare the younger students. I would make it look something like a nice little old lady with a gentle voice, someone like Miss Doubtfire. The inside would be of titanium to hold her up with a computerized system so that she will be able to do all of these things. The outside will be a rubber that feels like human skin, and I really would try to get look as human as possible. A little old lady would be an idea because a little old lady would be a good idea because kids don't usually misbehave for elderly people. I would test the robot with my cousins in my mom's home office to make it look like a classroom setting. My mom could reenact the classroom scenario to see if the robot is able to do everything I created it to do. From there, I will see what flaws it has and work on improving its functions.
Awesome. Thank you, Noah. Great job. I would like one of those as well if you come up with a good solution. Does anybody else have something to share with us? Isabella, if I did not show it, I did not see yours unless it was this one called Podcars. Was pod cars yours? All right. Go ahead and turn your mic on and talk to us about pod cars. Can you go ahead and hit the talk button, Isabella, and talk to us about your pod cars?
Hi, okay, so my project was pod cars. So for number 1, the question was research what kind of questions would you ask. So I would research strong magnets, engines, different types of glass, steel, theory for the iPhone, speakers, and tires. For question 2, practical functions of your robot. How will it move? It will use, after it receives its destination, it will move with wheels and magnets. It will use wheels to go on different terrain. For C, a battery to save resources. D, a microchip that is synced with your computer to find its destination and know how to get there. E, it has motion sensors to detect the movement of cars around it to prevent accidents. 3, yes, appearance matters because it has to be small enough to fit on the side of the road but look cool enough for people to buy it. For number 4, it would use strong magnets, transmissions, gears, batteries, microchips, steel, glass, wires, and plastic. For number 5, this robot is made for families with many children so that they can travel easier. Sometimes in families you have to be at 2 different places at the same time, but if the child doesn't have a license, that is impossible for the parents to be in 2 places at once. My solution is the pod car. It is built with speakers so the child can simply stay where he or she needs to go. The pod must be activated by the parent, though, so that the child can go where he or she pleases at any moment. The parent activates the pod car by going online to the pod car website and activating it. As soon as the child says where they want to go, the pod brings up a list of options on its touchscreen so you can click your destination. It then brings the child where they need to go. It also has the option of family trip where the 2-person vehicle has the magnets activated so it lines the pod behind the 2-person pod. If a wreck occurs, the child can click a button that ejects the mirror and opens the top of the car so the child can escape. The child can also ask to speak to its parent through the speaker and talk. Number 6, I will test it on a test track with a mannequin in the car. And 7, I will probably have to fix it many times before it is ready.
And here is a picture of Isabella's pod cars. Another great idea. You guys amazed me with the ideas that you came up with. Does anyone else have one to present to us? All right. Well, fantastic. Again, like I said, you guys really impressed me with how well you guys did with this little project. So, what I want to do now is, unfortunately, this is our last class. At the end of every course that I teach, there are a few things I like to do. One of them is I like to talk about what you would need to do if you decided you wanted to go into robotics as your career field. So, let's think about what we would do if we wanted to go into robotics, and we are going to brainstorm up on the whiteboard. So I have unlocked everyone's whiteboard. Now, what would you need to do in terms of classes or college degrees to go into robotics? Go ahead and put any ideas or thoughts that you have up here on the screen for us. I'm going to give you guys a couple of minutes to brainstorm. I'm going to give you guys 2 more minutes to add any more ideas that you have. All right, there's a lot of great ideas up here. I'm going to go ahead and start going over some as you guys are finishing writing. So up here, we have, you would need to learn about engineering and what makes a robot. Good job. Go into engineering, get a degree in engineering. You would have to try really hard and don't get mad if you fail 50 times. Good job. You would need to study computer coding and learn a lot about computers. You would need to be very good in science. Yep. Oh, Seth wrote, I would get a senior in engineering first. My dad made robots and he was an engineer, and take more classes in programming. Great job. Get an engineering degree and study computers and learn how to... You would have to learn a lot of things in college about electronics and how to program things. You would also have to know how to make a robot that would be cost efficient to the buyer, and would also have to know how to test robots to make sure they are safe. Those are all great ideas. When I did a little bit of research, most robotic engineers have either their master's degree or their PhDs. They also excuse me, have an average salary of $81,000. And some have engineering degrees, some have computer programming degrees, some have mechanical engineering degrees, some have computer science degrees. There was a large range of degrees from college that the different robotic engineers had. The main thing that they all had in common was that they were very comfortable working with computers, and they had lots of experience working with computers, doing internships, or things of the like. One of the things that is coming up that Bridgeway is going to participate in is called the Hour of Code. The Hour of Code takes place the first full week of December. Raise your hand if anyone has ever heard of the Hour of Code. Okay, a couple of you. Great. Well, I had never heard of it before I started looking more into it. Now, what I would like to do is I am going to share a short video with you guys about the hour, hopefully, about the Hour of Code. So, go ahead and listen to this little video.
Computer science. Hi, I'm Tanya. We think it's terrible that 90% of schools don't teach it.
They definitely didn't offer it at my high school.
So we're trying to make this video to show that anybody can learn. We want to get 10 million students to do the Hour of Code.
Hour of Code.
Hour of Code.
The Hour of Code.
Hour of Code. Hour of Code.
Hour of Code.
How do you get him to get to the sunflower? He needs to do some action.
I got it. Hey.
And then we'll run it and see what happens.
Amazing. There we go.
It's pretty I wrote it? Yeah. This is the code that you just wrote.
I thought code was FBI hacker symbols and stuff.
A little bit of problem solving, a little bit of logic. It's like instruction.
Programming is a lot easier today. Don't just play on your phone. Program.
All right.
Awesome.
How does someone go about getting a job?
Maybe take an online class, find a class at a community college. Yeah, one of the best paying jobs in the world.
I think medicine's moving into the whole computer age.
Technology touches every part of our lives. If you can create technology, you can change the world.
So we're excited that you are participating in today's Hour of Code.
We just did 2 lines of code. 4 lines.
7 lines. 5 lines.
9 lines. 60 lines of code.
99 lines.
60 lines.
18 lines of code.
75 lines of code. Doesn't matter how old you are.
Those are brains. The Hour of Code.
Hour of Code.
Yeah, programming code.
The Hour of Code.
The Hour of Code.
The Hour of Code.
Whether you're a young man or a young woman, whether you live in a city or a rural area,
Everybody in this country should learn how to program a computer.
And I just completed the Hour of Code.
It's actually really easy to learn.
Girls should learn this too.
Understand that language. That's going to be the future.
Anyone can learn computer science. And you can learn too.
Jack Dorsey, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, all of y'all. I'm learning. Give it a shot.
Yeah, tell me nothing. We give that to the people. Spread it across the country. Labels out here. Nothing. We give it to the people.
Okay, so the Hour of Code, that was sort of their little promo video. But basically what it is they are hoping to get 10 million students, adults, people to learn how to code, or to spend an hour trying to learn how to code. Now, I did a little bit of more research into it, and coding, the way they're doing it, nice, simple coding, is very similar to what we did a few weeks ago using the Robuzzle website. So if you are interested in participating in the Hour of Code, when you log on to our Moodle site, the information is right there with all of the links and the ways for you to get involved. So I encourage you all to go ahead and at least take a look at it and see if it's something that you would like to participate in with your parents or with a friend. The other thing I like to do at the end of each class is kind of take a little survey of you guys to learn what I can do to make this a better class. Now, there are two things that I'm looking for. One, I'm looking for what you enjoyed in the class. What was your favorite parts? Did you like the little coding we did in Robuzzle? Did you like using our kits? What did you like? And then what you did not like. Now, I am not looking for you to write, "We did not like the homework." Homework is part of the class. If you did not like a specific homework, please put that here. But don't just write homework or coming to class. Go ahead and give me some constructive criticism so that I can go ahead and make this a better class for next semester. While you guys are doing that, I'm going to just give you a little bit of end of the year information. You are going to get a link for a certificate of completion for this class, probably tomorrow or Friday by the time I have them made up. The certificate of completion is if you have come to 60% of the classes. So if you have, please look for that. You can go ahead and print it off, hang it on your refrigerator, keep it in your school folder, wherever you keep your important school papers. You are also going to get either a pass-fail grade that your advisor will get so that they can go ahead and add this course onto your report card. The kits that you guys have are yours to keep. We do not need it back. Your parents purchased it. It is yours. I encourage you to go ahead and build some other items with it. Do whatever you would like. If you do build something neat with your kit, go ahead and send me a picture. I enjoy seeing your creativity. And then other than that, I really hope you enjoyed the course. I know I did. No, unfortunately, Dane, I'm not going to put a video up that I have not seen before. I make sure that I preview everything that I show you guys, so I'm not going to put a celebration video up. You guys can go ahead and celebrate however you would wish that our last class is over. Once you have made your comments up here, you are free to go. I enjoyed having each and every one of you in the class, and I really hope you enjoyed it and learned something. And hopefully you will sign up for another Learning Lab with Bridgeway Academy. Have a great day.